All right. So again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. I will discuss today, about accounting for cash, specifically for the basic accounting. Okay, by Stice, no, and Steve Alberts. No. So we'll discuss more about the basic, no, of our cash. All right. So cash here, number one. We'll discuss first now what are the major activities in terms of business, now particularly for your cash flow statement, and that would be your operating activities, investing activities, and your part of your financing activities. So operating, investing, and more on activities in financing. Okay, so that would be the major activities of business, and it is part of your cash flow statement. Okay. So, number two, we'll discuss also about your cash and internal control. Okay, and number three, what would be your cash disbursement and some of the cash operating expenses, no, particularly for your cash receipt, no. And the last one, we will discuss more about our reconciling, no, of your bank account. So more on the banking statement or bank statement. All right, sige. So we'll start first, no. What are the major activities, no, in your business? So number one, that would be your day-to-day operations, no. So, kaya nga ito ay more on operations, no, activities, no. Number one, what would be the example of this? No, number one, you sell your products and or services. You buy your inventory for resale. You incur and paying for expenses, no? OPEX man yan, or any other expenses. And the last one, always be associated with the primary purpose of business. So yan naman yung ating pinaka goal, no? That in terms of the operating activities, that would be your primary purpose of business. Okay? So that's part of your cash flow statement. Okay? Operating activities. Number two is all about your investing activities. So, ano naman klaseng ibig sabihin ng activities in terms of the investing? So, for example, here, you purchase your assets for the use in your business. You have also your assets purchase includes your property and equipment. So, you purchase your assets, you purchase your PPE, you purchase your equipment, you purchase your financial assets. Okay? And occur less frequently, and the amounts of it no, involved in each transactions are quite large because syempre you will purchase your PPE, so it is more on capital intensive, no. Yan. Okay, next one is also about your activities in terms of your activity in financial, no. So dalawa lang naman class, no, if in terms of this, no, dalawa lang naman yan. That would be your equity financing and also your debt financing. Kaya nga, ito ay more on saan makukuha ng pera, no? Alright, so more on financing, okay? So, activities, no? So, raising money to finance a business by means or other than the operations. Ito yung mga sample natin, alright, of your financing. Alright, money can be borrowed from creditors, debt financing naman yan, or money can be raised by selling your stocks or ownership interest in the business is also known as your equity financing. Alright, ano nga yan class? You have your operating activities, you have your investing activities, and financing activities. So ito yung major activities in terms of your business and also part of your cash flow statement. That's why if you take a look again of the major activities in business, no, operating activities, investing, and financing, they're all part of your FS. Ano nga yun, class? That would be your statement of cash flows. Okay? So, it is more on your cash flow statement. Sige. So, ano bang ibig sabihin, class, no, ng some of the or examples, no, of the operating activities, operations? You sell your products, you provide services that will bring cash to the company. So, ito yung mga sample. Kanina is more on general. Today is more on, no, ano pa yung magagawin natin, no? Alright, you purchase inventory, alright, for resale, salary, incurring salary, rent expense, no? And also will cost your cash flows. Okay, and also even credit sales or credit purchase will cost cash flows because of collection or collecting of cash or paying subsequently. And that would be your day-to-day operations. Okay? How about naman in terms of your investing activities? Investment, no? Investing. You purchase your property and equipment for the use in terms of operations, no? We have disposal of your property, plant and equipment. Ibebenta na natin yung ating property, plant and equipment, no? How about naman in terms of your equity or debt financing? Alright, you borrow money, okay, from your creditors or raising money from investors that will bring money, no? And also repayments of debts or distributing your cash dividends to shareholders that will cause your cash flows, no? So that would be your cash and the business activities. Okay. Kaya nga class, very important also that when you're talking here of cash, we should also have internal control of cash. So ano ba class ang ibig sabihin dito, no? So number one, very important here is the definition of cash. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng cash? So ang sabi, it includes your coins, your currency, your money orders, and checks. And kasama rin dito yung ating money on deposits, no? With the banks or any other savings institutions that are available to use to satisfy the obligations. So, ito yung mga sample natin, no? Okay. So, meaning to say, on the part of banks, mamaya we'll discuss about banks, it's a liability. Pero again, as you notice, it includes your coins, your currency, your money orders, and your checks, no? So, kasama dyan yung cheque natin. Alright, so kasama dyan yung ating cheque. Okay. So, what else? So, very important also, class, that, yes, in terms of the internal control, very important is your cash control procedures. So, ano yung mga cash control procedures? Sabi, very important daw is you have the separation of duties, no? In handling your cash. Ibig sabihin, dapat meron tayong subdivision or segregation of duties. Alright. Specifically, the custodial of cash, the one who authorize, and also the one who receive money. Dapat iba-iba yan, ha? Because of, pag hindi, pwedeng ang mangyari sa atin ay ang pera ay nasa bulsa, no? So, may mga ganun ka sa. Okay. So, cash receipts are deposited sa bangko. As much as possible, yes, it is to be deposited sa bangko, no? Hindi pwedeng nasa cash on hand lang, no? Susceptible of pwedeng pagnanakaw, no? Okay, or any others a theft, no? Except for small business payments or small amount payments, all payments are made with the pre-numbered checks. Yes. So very important here is if you will issue your money, dapat yan ay pre-numbered checks. And the last one, you will prepare your bank reconciliation. Okay, last ito yung mga sample natin, no? Hopefully you should remember this one. Number one, what if you purchase inventory with cash where 2,000 and 3,000 on account? So what is the entry here? You debit inventory of 5. Then you have your cash of 2,000 and utang mo na 3,000 to record the cash and your credit purchase of your inventory. And then what if we pay it on 1 month later? So ito ay on account, so you debit here accounts payable and credit here your cash, no? It is worth 3,000. Okay. Also very important here is about your purchase discount, no, in your inventory. A seller may have to offer a discount to encourage his customers to pay earlier. Yes. So, to have prompt payment. Yan naman yung pinaka-goal natin. The reason why we have our purchase discount. Alright, ano ang ibig sabihin ng 2 tenths and 30? It means that the customer paid. If the customer's paid within 10 days, you are given 2% discount and the credit terms is 30 days. Ganun lang, no? Suppose Hotbat Bakery purchased some flour worth 1,000. Alright, so first the entry here is the inventory, 1,000. Then we have here accounts payable of 1,000. Okay? Bakit last? Kasi nga, uh, tayo ay, we have purchase discount. Okay? Alright, so you purchase. So, in terms of the purchase discount, it can be seen as savings or interest during the period. Okay? So, if Hot Bakery paid on March 6, 2017, then the Hot Bakery can save 20 pesos. Yes, there would be a discount. So, 1,000 times 2%. So, ibig sabihin, ang babayaran na lang natin ay hindi na 1,000 but 980 because the 80 here is your the 20 here is your purchase discount. And purchase discount, no? So if Hot Bakery didn't pay within 10 days, it has to pay the 20 pesos more because of the interest of 20 days, no? Which means that the interest rate for the 20 days is about 20 pesos. So 980 times 37%. So times 20 divided by 360, no? What if nagbayad tayo, no? Sorry, na mismo yung ano mo, pagbabayad ng discount. So, you debit, accounts payable, and credit card. Sayang, no? Ito kanina, ito yung ating may discount. Sayang, no? For me, you should avail of a discount. Okay? Alright. Next one also is all about your purchase, returns, and allowances. Okay? So, ano naman to class, no? When the merchandise is damaged or defective, a buyer often asks for returns and allowances. Okay? Yes, so ibabalik mo to class, no? The buyer will send a seller a debit memorandum called debit memo para ma-notify natin that the accounts receivable, sorry, if a buyer you have accounts payable, i-debit natin para bawasan yung utang nila, no? So based on the debit memo, the buyer debits yan, accounts payable and credit your inventory. Yan na. Okay, sige. So, purchase allowances. Assume that the purchasing Hot Pot Bakery found some flour of the poor quality and returned 200 of the merchandise at the second day. So, you debit here accounts payable of 200 and we have inventory naman of 200 to record the return of inventory to the vendor. Okay? What if there would be discount? Okay? Yan. So, debit accounts payable. And you have here inventory of 16. That would be your related allowances. And also we have cash. Instead of paying 800, you will only pay 784 because of the purchase discount. Okay? Okay. Again, now, if you have questions, no, just message me, no. All right. Also, class, very important is the payment for the various expenses. Alright, it is often made cash payment by supporting our operating activities. Okay? Ayan. So, such as rent expense, alright, maintenance expense, etc. So, yung mga sample. Ha? Alright, so if the company makes the advance payment for the future expenditure, the payments are debited to the asset account such as your prepaid rent, prepaid insurance, yan, etc., etc. So, mga sample lang yan, no? Alright, so, ating sample. Alright, so, as time passes, you have also here, the prepaid expenses expired and turn out to be part of the expenses. Yan. So, asset naging expense. Alright, so, payment for, ano ba, you pay na for the various expenses. So, depende yan, class. Alright, so, whether you pay for the insurance, no? So you debit prepaid insurance and credit naman cash of 12,000. At the end of the month, the company records the entry to convert the asset into an expense. Alright, so you debit insurance expense and credit naman our insurance. or prepaid insurance. Yan. So, yun yung mga sample natin. Okay? So, debit, interest expense, and prepaid insurance. Alright. So, we are finished now with the simple no, explanation no, of some of the assets. Yung iba naman doon ay only review. Next topic is all about petty cash fund. So, ano bang ibig sabihin ng petty cash fund? No? It is from kaya petty, maliit, okay? Small, special cash fund used by a relative small amounts. So, so yan ang ibig sabihin ng ating petty cash fund. Okay? Uh, Relative small amounts. Okay. Establishing the fund, a petty cash custodian is appointed to take charge of the fund. Alright. Assuming that the Hot Pot Bakery issued a check to establish a petty cash fund at 3,000 no, for the personal department. So, paano pag ganun daw, no? Alright. So, meaning to say, you debit here. Okay, so we will follow the Empress Fund System, wherein we debit automatically with our petty cash and credit naman yung ating cash. Okay? So, we are following in the IFRs and the IAS is the Impress Fund System. Alright, in establishing our uh, um, um, cash. Yan. Okay? Next one. Alright, so next one, making payments. Alright, so from the fund. When the money is paid from the fund, the company does not make any accounting entries to record for the yes, no? You just parang you just go to the custodian para ipalit mo yung resibo mo sa pera. Parang ganun, no? So the payment must be established with the petty cash receipts. Okay? And the sum of the petty cash receipts and the money left in the fund should equal to the emphasized size of the fund. Yan. Okay? Sige. So, in terms of the replenishment of your petty cash, alright, number one, replenish at the public intervals. Alright, number two, or replenish when the fund reaches the minimum level. Or note that the replenishment is recorded by debiting expense and crediting our cash. So it does not affect the petty cash fund, petty cash account under the Empress Fund System. Okay. Assuming that on April 30, the remaining balance of your petty cash fund of the personnel department is 700. The company the summary of the petty cash receipts include you have your expense in miscellaneous 400, postage expense 450, and freight out of 450. Custodian asks for replenishment. Class, if you notice, yung ating debit, ang credit ay cash, not anymore petty cash. Para hindi magulo, no? So, you debit here, expense miscellaneous, postage expense, and your freight out, no? Alright. So, then you have your cash of 2,300. Hopefully, you are still clear, clear pa to, no? Alright, so that would be your petty cash fund, no? As long as it is to be debited to the petty cash fund. Pero pag replenish na, yan ay cash in bank. Okay, sige. Next topic naman is all about your bank statement. Ano naman yung bank statement, no? Ano ba yung basic rule natin? In your FAR, no? In your basic accounting also, very important is your bank statement. Okay? Why? Because always, the bank balance is not the same in terms of your book balance. No? Each month, the company receives a bank statement that shows the cash balance at the beginning of the period, the deposits and the amount of the checks processed, and the cash balance at the end of the period. With the statement, the bank include all of that month's canceled checks, debit and credit memorandum, no? So for the perspective of the bank, customers deposits are all liabilities. Ibig sabihin yung ating on yung mga deposit natin, lahat yan ay utang ng bangko, no? Hence, debit memos reduce the company's cash balance and credit the increase, no? Or credit memos increase the balance. Okay. So ito class yung typical your balance sheet, no? Sorry, your balance sheet. Your passbook, not balance sheet. Passbook, no? So you check number, you check in withdrawal, then deposit in addition, then you have your date. Yan. Okay? So yan. So that would be your cash. Your available cash is worth 14,422. Anyway, sige. So class, as a basic rule, class makinig ha. As a basic rule, your book balance should be the same with the bank balance. Kaya lang may mga time hindi yan nasusunod, no? Or hindi ka parehas. Why? Because of this differences, no? Because of this adjustment. Or tinatawag na ating class timing difference. Okay? On the part of the bank statement, what would be the timing differences? Later we'll discuss one by one. Outstanding checks and deposit in transit. Okay? In the bank entries naman, you have service, ito naman class sa book. Service charges, no sufficient check, direct deposit, interest paid, and may errors pa. No? Later, no, we'll discuss one by one. Okay. So, what do you mean of NSF? No, not sufficient funds. As sabi, cancellation of a prior deposit that could not be collected because of insufficient funds in the check writer accounts. Yes. Alright, no sufficient fund. You have also your DIT, deposit in transit. Deposits that have not been processed by the bank as of the statement date. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, the-deposit na yan ng, pero dumadaan pa ng clearing. No? And also, we have our outstanding checks. Checks that have been written and deducted from the company's cash account but have not cleared or been deducted by the banks as a whole. Ayan. So, ito class ay kabaliktaran naman ng deposit in transit. Ibig sabihin, nag-issue tayo ng cheque pero dumaan pa sa clearing. Okay? So, hindi pa siya part sa ating bangko. Alright. Sige. Ito class yung mga sample, no? So, as a basic rule, your beginning balance should be the same with the, sorry, not beginning, the bank balance, no? Should be the same with the book balance. So, for example, on the part of the bank, ano yung ating kadalasan, no? Na recon item, TIT, your outstanding checks, and we have our bank errors. Alright, so that would be your adjustment in your beginning balance. How about naman in the book balance? Of course, pag tayo ay nag-print ng bank statement, no? Diyan mo makikita na may mga interest paid pala. May direct deposit na nag-deposit sa'yo, no? May service charge ka. May tumalbog na cheque, no sufficient fund, bank transfers, or any other accounting errors. Alright, so because of this, account is reconciled when both the adjusted balances are equal. Yes, very good, no? Alright, next one. So, ito yung mga sample natin ng bank recon, no? Hunt Company bank statement indicates that an ending balance of 14,422 for the month of July. Hunt's accountant wrote the following. Deposit of 3,1 on July 31 was not shown in the bank statement. So, ito ay deposit in transit. Number 2, checks number 625 for 326 pesos, number 631 for 426 in peso, and 634 185 are outstanding, no? Checks number 627 was voided all the time it was written. So, ibig sabihin, yan ay outstanding checks. Okay. How about naman, the bank service charge for the month is $7. Yan naman ay service charge. Okay? A distinct deposit shipments of 3.2 and was made by the Joy regular customers. Ibig sabihin, may nag-direct deposit sa iyo, no? Tagahanga mo ata. No? Number 3, the customers yan. Transfer of 425 was made out of the Hunt account into the account of Martin Custodial Services, no? Okay. So, ano tawag ng class? Bank transfer. You have also interest paid, bank paid of $60 on Hunt average balance, and that would be your interest paid. Alright? Or interest expense. Alright. So, next one, check number 630 of Telma Jones wages are recorded as 240. instead of 420. Transposition error lang naman yan, no? Pero you need to adjust, okay? And the cash account in the general ledger shows a balance of 13,937. So we go to this statement, no? So you have your bank balance on the left side, no? So 14,422. Okay, you add the DIT, and you will minus our outstanding checks, no? So how much would be your adjusted bank balance? 16,585. On the part of book, ano naman yung kanilang adjustment, no? Okay, of course, malalaman natin class, pa may tayo ay may bank statement na. So you have your direct deposit. Ibig sabihin, may nag-deposit sa'yo na hindi mo alam, no? You have interest, okay? Then we have deductions from the book balance. You have service charge, bank transfer, or any other error. Alright. Class, if you notice, dapat parehas yan with the 16,585. Okay? Very good. Okay. Yan. So, the adjustment required to correct hand cash account are, you have your cash, debit, account receivable, 32, and you have your interest revenue of 60. So, yun naman class ay yung ating usual na ginagawa, no? Particularly for our cash. Also, we have custodial expenses, and also we have express in miscellaneous, and we have our wages expenses of 180 and cash of 612. So, class, ibig sabihin, after this, what you will do is to adjust. Okay? Adjustment para, sorry. Not to adjust, to adjustment. Alright. So, I believe this is my last slide. Alright. So, uh, yan. I think last slide na to. No? So, or you have your quiz yourself. O, wag na. Alright. So, again, thank you for listening, no? About the basic, no? Of your cash. Alright. So, again, please subscribe, no? If ever. Particularly if you want to know more about accounting. Okay? So again, I am here to help you. If you have question, just message me, no? Okay. So again, thank you very much and see you soon. Bye bye.